Hello. Well, guess what? It's official. I'm a hillbilly for sure. I don't mind. I gotta embrace my hillbilly, you understand? I won't have a tooth for probably about 2 months. I like to think that I can embrace this, and kind of be okay. It's annoying though. It's annoying and it's scary because the infection that I got on the 3rd of July, I thought it was a tooth infection. I got put in the hospital. They're like, oh, it's angioedema. You need blood platelets and all this crap. It was my tooth. It was my tooth. I got put in the ICU for that tooth. I've gone to 4 dentists. 4. And I did think that first I was mad at the first dentist because I was like, man, they sent me a bunch of referrals that aren't even real. And then I was like, oh, I'm an asshole because that was free. It wasn't free. It wasn't free. I just got the bill today. It's not free. It was covered with my insurance, which they didn't know. Okay? So, here's the good news. I mean, not good news. I'm sorry. This tooth is... I don't know what to say. Alright. So, I kind of have a sixth sense about me, other than this fucking tooth. Lately, I've been into the Watts case, like really, really into the Watts case, and I mean into it, like hours and hours and hours. There's a lot of different YouTube channels specifically just for the Watts case. I like this one called Zolinsky or Anyway, if you look up, there's one like called Watts the Obsession. Once you get onto one, you'll be able to like keep going. But definitely look for the guy with the Z. I think it's Zolinsky or Zolowski, something like that. Anyway, he's very, very into it. So, since we're all like nosy bitches and we need to like know what the fuck's going on all the time with this case, there's been a lot going on with this case. Now, in the beginning, when the case came out, we found out that Chris Watts killed his wife, his pregnant wife, a little boy named Nico, and his 2 beautiful, beautiful daughters, Bella and Cece, 3 and 4. And they were perfect little angels. And his wife was a fantastic wife. But the thing about that was, everybody's like, what happened? Okay, so then we find out he has this woman, Nicole Kessinger, okay? And we see these pictures and you're like, damn, like, she turned on the red light, obviously, and got him messed up. Well, so through the years, I'm watching. When that house, the day they thought something happened, there was security alarms in the house, and you could see his wife walking up to the door with her shit, and her friend Nicole dropping her actual friend, her neighbor, the one Atkinson, who knew something was up, right? So there's cameras. Now, the morning camera, when that neighbor shows Chris Watts, it's doing all this shit and fucking like, oh, and he's texting somebody. He's texting Nicole Kessinger. She kind of is a Kessinger, because she's an asshole. I'll tell you that fucking much. Now, if you look at all these videos as much as I did and these other people who are really into it, I mean, their whole fucking life revolves around this tragedy. Even the people that saw and had to take out the children out of the oil batteries are still in trauma therapy. They're not okay. A few people had to quit. They're like, I'm out. when he looked up this music called something in the battery, it's like one of those like heavy metal songs. That's fucked up, because then he took those girls and put them in the batteries. The batteries are the oil containers. So if you really look at the morning when he backs his truck up, number one, he's backing it up. It seems like he's backing it up to the smaller. They have like a double car garage and a small garage. And it seems like he's backing it up to the small garage. Something of note, the alarm did go off after he left. Nicole Kessinger's work truck was the next block over. And they actually had complaints about this steel gray truck with a cap on it. Whose is it? What's going on? Why is this here? It doesn't belong here. Why is it here? She was with them. She was with him that morning. Here's what I think. I think that she did a lot of sexual stuff to get him to turn his head. Number one, she looked him up September 2018. No, 2017. She didn't meet him until March around there, 2018. She had looked up Shannan on September 2017. And she looked him up too. So then she ends up getting a job there. And she gets him going. Now, if you look at, I'm totally blaming him too, don't get me wrong. If you look at the call history, for number one, this bitch fucking erased everything. But her Google searches were traceable. She was looking up wedding dresses. She was looking up Amber Fry. How did Amber Fry do? You know, she get a book deal. That's what she looked up, Amber Fry. Amber Fry, first of all, was a single mother who had no fucking clue that that guy was sending her some bullshit. He really, really did lie to her. And that's the case of another man who killed his pregnant wife. Nicole Kessinger and Amber Fry are nothing alike. Okay, nothing alike. Amber Fry didn't look up and hunt down a married man. Amber Fry did not do that. Amber Fry also did not give an ultimatum, as in, it's them or me. So this man ends up killing the kids. Here's what I really think happened, because if you look at the video in the morning, there's shadows. And it's true, I've seen it on like 30 channels. We all see it. Like, I've even looked at it to get different views of things, and maybe that's not true. No, you can see she's standing in front of a bush, and you see the outline of her ponytail and her phone. When he leaves, that alarm gets triggered again, and that's because she's still in the house. Her car was a block away. Some people think maybe it got triggered by the best friend, Nicole Atkinson, because she was like, where the hell's, I'm supposed to take Shannan to the doctors. We're getting an ultrasound today. I thought, where is she? She looks inside, and she sees like her shoes. She sees Shannan's phone, which is impossible, because if you look, Shannan was like social media insanity. She's a type A personality, and she was a lot. But that doesn't mean she needs to be fucking killed by her husband and his mistress. I think, this is my take. I think they were boning in the basement, because not too many people know it, but they were actually using separate beds. She was staying upstairs in the bed, which, by the way, she stayed on the couch for a little bit before this even happened. Then she's like, fuck that noise. I'm pregnant. I don't want to sleep on the couch anymore. Figure it out. Go downstairs. So they made him a bedroom downstairs. I think she came home from that airport. She's a type A personality. She wants to get shit done. She has no idea that there's this woman in her house, okay? I think she walked down the stairs and she caught them. And I think he had to choke her out and kill her. But here's what's worse. I think Bella saw it because when he tells a story about how he killed everybody, he says he went to bed, he had sex with his wife, and then he told her he didn't want to be with her anymore, and he's out and there's somebody else, and he's sick of her, he's not in love with her, yada, yada, yada. That was the first story, okay? Then he says, the second story is, first I went into my daughter's room. Both of them had separate rooms, and I killed them. I smothered them. And then I went and got on top of Shannan, who was laying on her stomach, and I choked her. But Bella walked in and said, what's wrong with mommy? He said that he failed at killing them. Both of them. Alright. No. No. I think what happened was she went downstairs. First of all, the neighbors said that they could hear them screaming and stuff like that. Not that specific day, but that they had been screaming. She was gone for a month and a half before this happened. She'd just come home like a couple days before. He even went and joined her down in North Carolina and all this shit. So everybody's like, he's acting weird. I think Shannan came downstairs. It got crazy and he had to choke out his wife. I also think that Bella heard that. He might have already killed the kids in his mind, but he just got Cece. He didn't get Bella. I think Bella ran down the stairs and saw it. Screamed and ran upstairs and hid underneath the bed. I think Cece was already deceased. Because if you look at the footage, you can see him, somebody walking over his little and he picks up and puts him in the truck. In the meantime, you see Kessinger up front. You can see her. She's not getting in. She's there. I think he put the wife on the floor of the bed, in the back seat, threw Cece in there, and then sat Bella in there because Bella said something like, don't we need car seats, Daddy? And he's like, no, not today. And she's like, what's wrong with Mommy? And he's like, she'll be okay. And so I really do think that Cece was already gone. Now, the reason why I say that I think Cece ran underneath the bed, through all these different channels and all these things I've seen, what I really found interesting, and you know, I believe in some things. I'm not like going to be like, woo, loose, but so the FBI brought in a trauma dog. And actually, he was standing outside. This is like right when they're like, where's your wife? What's happening? We're going to search her house. He's standing out front. They brought in this trauma dog. And the dog flipped out underneath the bed. And they said, oh, it's a book, you know, blah, blah, blah. No, I think that little girl went underneath the bed and was real scared because the thing about the trauma dog, what they pick up on the scents are the pheromones and the stress, sweat that people have. And that's a very specific thing. And that's all he's looking for. That dog is just looking for that stress hormone, pheromone, whatever it's called. It also went bananas in the basement. It also went bananas a street over where the fucking truck was. Okay? Why did Nicole Kessinger need a picture of the work site, 3130 or whatever they call it, where the oil batteries were? Why does she need a picture of that? That's one of the things she didn't have deleted. So through all this shit, it's been like 6 years, okay? He got put into a prison in Colorado. What they did, the way they did this, made no sense. They did like zero investigation. They got him to do a plea, and he's like, I'm out, and they stopped the investigation. I would like to point out that the gray steel truck, the street over, belonged to Nicole Kessinger's father. It was a work truck. Her father is very involved with all these people at this jail that got him going. You notice her father sat in. She's an adult. Her father sat with her in interrogation. That's unheard of. That's unheard of. They also didn't press her about erasing all of the messages and the pictures and the videos. That's against the law. That's, you're impeding some bitch. What's it called? God damn it. I don't want to say that word. It's called, it's hindering. I can't remember the word, but you'll know it. You know what I'm talking about. You cannot hide evidence. Can't do it. It's felony, especially in this situation. They took him. By the way, after this, Nicole's like off scot fucking free. She decides to change her name. So the word on the street is she changed her name to Nicole Miller. So the beginning Nicole spelled differently than the other Nicole, and she changed it to Miller. He got sent to a different prison because they were saying he's not safe. Well, fuck that noise. He's not going to be safe anywhere. They moved him to one called Dodge, which I find funny. It's, Minnesota or something? Or Wisconsin? Anyway, her family lives there. Her family lives there. Some people are saying they're still talking. I don't think they are. So here's what's happening lately with this is that one of the guys that was in there with them, another fucking hoodlum, piece of shit, been in there lots of times before. They decided to put their heads together and we're going to make a book about this shit and I'm going to tell a true story. Yeah. We'll help you with your case. He's never getting out. And he has no help with that case. So there's no help with that case. He called Nicole Kessinger a Jezebel. It is on every fucking news channel. Who gives one fucking shit? She should have already been in jail. Jesus fuckery. No shit. Oh, she made you do it? Oh, really? I'm so surprised. Of course she fucking did. I can't even get in a fucking car with somebody who robbed a bank because my ass is going to prison for 10 years. That's how serious this shit is. For her to fucking erase all those messages and look up fucking bridal gowns and look up fucking Shannan a year before. It was actually, he killed Shannan and children on August 13th, 2018. She looked up Shannan September 2017. And her dad and she actually got the fucking FBI to believe that that was a typo. No, it's not. She got a job there. Her dad's connected with that whole place. She made sure she got a job there. She also, her searches are not only wedding dresses and when's the first time somebody says I love you, and well, that was his, believe it or not. Something about how do you know when to say I love you for the first time? Bitch, you're married. You're fucking married. Why in the fuck are you even looking that up? You're supposed to love the one you're with, bitch. You're supposed to love your children, your mom, and your dad, and your fucking sister and shit, right? My God. That's a fucking piece of shit. Then her shit was like Pornhub, double penetration, shit like that. You know, other people are also saying I don't believe this one, that she was into devil worship and all this shit. But it has been said many a time from anybody who fucking cuts it up with Chris is that she was a bat in the sack. Like she was crazy, good in bed. She did all that extra stuff nobody will do, including butt sex. And that's how she got him. In my opinion, that's how she got him. If you're a married man, and they've been together 10 years, in that 10 years, Pornhub come around and all kinds of creepy ass shit came around. And you're somebody like Chris Watts who never dated anybody really, never really had any girlfriends, didn't go anywhere, was the best, easiest guy, go with the flow guy all the time. He probably thought he was missing out. Okay? And she comes up, throwing out fucking, woo, we're gonna have butt sex and double penetration and whoop-de-woo and bitch, oh my God, no. And when I look at those pictures, I can tell, like, she just had butt sex. Damn you, woman, why you gotta be doing all that? And then for her to act like, when she, you know, there's certain people in this world that I think if I ever met them, I would uncontrollably have to fucking hurt them to the point where I would take my life out on them. And she is one of those people. She is one of those people. And if you look at her interviews, listen to her voice. Well, I didn't know because, I didn't really know we had kids. And you know what? They were really cute. And like everything she says, answers. She answers in a question form, where her voice goes up at the end. She had this one FBI guy so fucking twisted around her finger that he was like, well, you gotta understand, it's really bad to erase the messages. She's like, yeah, but I don't really know what you guys even need those for. Seriously, why do you guys even need them? Clink, clink, bitch. That should have been later. I'm actually surprised it's taken this long for him to say anything. Actually, this isn't fucking news either. That shit came out like 3 months ago. But all of a sudden they're like, oh, because this guy from the fucking prison, they both decided together. He was in the cell next to him. And next to Chris Watts, he's in the next cell. Chris Watts gets a lot of fucking letters from women who love him. Women. He has a girlfriend. He has a fucking girlfriend. A girlfriend. So these two were friends, supposedly. He started giving this guy all these juicy ass letters from these crazy bitches. And I guess he passes these letters out to the other inmates, and that's how he's making nice. Because a lot of people don't get letters like he does, and they're fucking bored to shit, and there is absolutely nothing to do. You do the same thing every single day, and it sucks. And all you guys got to do is fuck with each other. So he'll pass out all these love letters and stuff. So I guess because he gave the guy a love letter or whatever, he wanted to jerk off, and he needed some oil, and something about, let's just say it looked like they were fucking. Let's just leave it at that. It looked like they were boning. Chris Watts got busted 2 times in his prison life, and they're both for stupid shit, but the second one was like, it was that stuff. So a lot of people were saying that they were boning and la la la. But anyway, they got to be friends because Chris got him the stuff to jerk off to, and then that guy stood up for him one time for somebody else. So they became friends. They decided to write a book together. Before it's all said and done, Chris Watts says, forget about it. I don't want nothing to do. I don't want nothing to do with this. Fucking no. And the other guy's like, eat a dick. I'm doing it. I don't fucking care. And then the news, they're like, oh, do you believe this man is trying to benefit from... Bitch, what are you doing right now? What are you doing right now? You're telling a story just like he is. Do you know how fucking impossible it is to get a job, a real paying job, when you've been a prisoner and you have felonies? It's next to fucking impossible. So yeah, the motherfucker's gonna write a book. Okay, bitch? And you're talking about it. Act like he's out of pocket for you and that. Of course he should do that. I also think that, I think because the family, Shannan's family, they did a civil suit. So once you do a civil suit and win, that gives the man who did all this terrible shit to you, it's against the law now for them to make any money off of your tragedy. It really is. How the fuck O.J. Simpson wrote a book? If I would have done it, you got me. That piece of shit, he did it too. Fuck him. Fuck him, rotten hell. But this fucking bitch, so Nicole Kessinger, the word on the curb. She's gained weight. And she changed her name. But she's gained weight. That makes me really fucking happy. Fuck her. She used her body to seduce a married man and laid out every sex trick in the book. Then when he says, I think Shannan called when they were when she was in North Carolina, and he was at her house that day. So she'd call him, and he's with Nicole Kessinger, and so he misses the call and runs outside and FaceTimes her, because she's no fucking joke. She knew this shit was up. She knew shit was up. He had just come to visit them, and everybody's like, he is so weird right now. Like, why is he so weird? He's like completely cut off. I said, this is what I get. Okay, so anyway, so he had to FaceTime her. When he realized he's in deep shit, he's like, I better just go. I gotta go home. And Chris said he needed to talk her off the ledge. So he needed to tell his Jezebel, cool your jets, bitch, I'm going home. I think she showed up later that day from what I understand. She has bragged to her friends during this time period that Chris is the best sex she's ever had, and that they did it all over their house, in their marital bed and on their counter where Bella eats her cereal. That's what she's telling people. That's what she's doing. They need to get this woman. There's no fucking way she should be walking around right now. Fuck her. I think she killed Bella. I do. I think he might have failed at killing them both, but he definitely got Cece. He got Cece. Cece was 3. She had asthma, and she did have a little health problems. So if you smother a 3-year-old with asthma, it's probably going to work. Don't lie and say it didn't. It did. I think she killed Bella. I mean, Cece, I think she killed. One of those two fucking did that shit, but I do think that she hurt Bella, because I just don't understand. Maybe she's the one that killed Shannan. Something happened down in that basement. Something real fucking bad. And I do believe that Bella screamed and ran upstairs and hid underneath the bed, because that's what the trauma dog caught. Now, you see some of these videos, and there's lots and lots and lots and lots of fucking channels that do this, and I'm not exaggerating, 10 right off the top. One of them's literally called Watts, The Obsession. They will show everything. They show text messages from the moms. You know, like people write something about Chris Watts, his mother. And it bugs the shit out of me. You know, I understand that Shannan said things to Chris's mother to the extent of, we gotta teach him how to act. Like, he can't figure out how to wash a dish. Okay, let's work together. You know, I think Shannan was kind of doing one of those things where you're trying to get along with somebody, but you keep fucking up. And for her to put Chris down in any fucking manner was way off. Way off. His mom is fucking crazy about this kid. And the reason why Chris Watts doesn't know how to do things is because his fucking mom did everything. So if you're going up to his mom and you're saying, boy, he can't cook for shit. He can't follow directions. This guy, I gave him, he'd fuck up a cup of coffee, this guy. What do you think's gonna happen? So then, they call it Nutgate. Because the girls had allergies. They had crazy fucking weird allergies. They were misdiagnosed for a few years with some other shit, and it turns out it's asthma. They all had to be tested for stuff. Shannan had herself, she had health problems. Oh, gosh darn it. Just the name came into my head and it popped back out. But it's a real serious disease. It's bad. And so she had hard pregnancies, too. She was, like, bedridden and stuff like that. She's in a lot of pain. She has bad back, bad neck, and I think she had, doggone it, it's a serious disease. It'll come right up if you look. Lupus. So, she had 2 children, 3, with no lupus medication. That's serious. So, they used to have to take the children to the hospital all the time because shit went wrong with the breathing. It makes sense because she might have taken lupus medication. Maybe. They never said she didn't. So the mother-in-law decides it'd be cute. Shannan's there with the girls. She went to North Carolina to spend a couple weeks with both the grandparents. Chris had to work, he's staying home, but really he's just boning his stupid fucking bitch. She's there dealing with his mom. His mom puts out some ice cream and some shit with nuts in it, and she goes, listen, man. She kicks the kids out. She's like, listen, Mrs. Watts, blah, blah, blah. You can't do that. Please don't do that. Please don't hurt my children. They're allergic to this shit. She walked out to go get the girls. She walks back in, there's a bowl of nuts sitting there, and the mom's laughing, saying, you make a big deal out of everything. Yeah, because it'll kill him. It will literally kill her. She couldn't even leave the house without an EpiPen. So those little girls were in danger. And that woman and her stupid fucking ignorance would rather get one over and laugh in that woman's face instead of fucking paying attention that those are her grandchildren and they cannot have fucking nuts. They can't have peanut butter. They can't have tree nuts. You can't fucking have them. Stop fucking putting out nuts. What the fuck's wrong with you? But then when I read, like, the messages from everybody, because they will show you on all these shows, they'll show you all the messages. For the most part. And, man, this mom just... Chris Watts' mom needs to stop it. I understand what it's like to have a child that you love to fucking pieces. I know what that's like, and I know how it is with the son getting married. She said something to the effect that there's an old adage that your daughter's your daughter for life, and your son is his until your son is your son until he finds a wife. So she already didn't like Shannan. Also, Shannan was married before she met Chris, so once they got a divorce, it was a bad divorce. A real bad divorce. And he became an attorney, actually. So she felt like she worked and worked and worked and made him get to where he needs to get. And once he got to where he wanted to get, he's like, out. Get out of here. So she actually had to pay him like alimony. Like, she had to pay out the face and shit like that. She was a very driven woman. She had her own house. With, like, the house that she was murdered in, they had 4 bathrooms. The house she had before that, as herself, they built that house. As herself, that she bought and built herself when she was 25, was a hell of a lot bigger than that house. And then they went and lived with, like, the in-laws for, like, a year or some shit like that. Or they had your mom, they did, like, family. You know, it just really sucks. It sucks. Because I could see the mom's side of being like, that's my son, this woman. Oh my God. Like, you know, I can see that. I can see that. But I can't. I can't. I don't like it. I don't like it that she talks down on Shannan. Especially since her son murdered her. And she was pregnant. And the baby expelled from her when they were trying to drag her. So what the fuck? Those babies were considered degloved when they got out. No skin. They had to have special fucking... the funeral caskets. They had to have special caskets because the children were flammable. Flammable. And like I said, the people who found them, they can't fucking function now. Chris Watts also had some gasoline that day, and from what I'm understanding, he was going to blow that shit up. He was going to blow it all up. He has insurance on Shannan, he had insurance on the kids, and he was at work, and he brought a gas can, was going to blow the whole fucking place up, and I think that's why he put the girls in those 2 batteries. Sent a picture of it to Nicole Kessinger and K, as they say. And the bitch was like, all right, good job. But what they didn't expect was that Chris had already planned to kill these children and his wife a couple days before. He called on Friday to one of the bosses, and he said, don't bother coming in on Monday because I'm going to go there really early. And the guy's like, well, I think there's like a leak or something like that. And Chris was like, no. Don't worry about it. Yeah, he planned it. Why was she straight over, parked over there? Why didn't she park in the driveway? Why was she even in the fucking house? What the fuck are you talking about? And the way he was dressed, I guess he had changed from the time he left the house to when he was there, too. It changed. Then he changed before he came back because he was wearing something else when he came back. There was cameras at that site. There's no footage of those cameras. Nicole Kessinger said she forgot to clock in that day. They only have her clocking out, but as well, they have no footage of her coming or going. Okay? This guy was like, I'll be there. And he showed up like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 45 minutes after Chris finished off Bella and stuck them in an 8-inch hole, which she was completely scraped up and down because he had to jam her into the hole. CC went in the other hole. He put her in. Why they did two separate tanks is another question. And that's why I'm thinking he was going to blame Shannan and say that she put him in the tanks and then blew up the place to say, hey, I know what you've been doing. That's probably what was going to happen. But because Nicole Atkinson, the neighbor, she couldn't get a hold of Shannan, and she had to go for an ultrasound. She offered her a ride the night before. She's like, let me know what's going on, because he had to be there at like 9 or something like that. And he left the house at like 5:15, 5:35, 5:45, around there. He showed up at that place like 45-minute drive. And then that other guy showed up like right after. But in the meantime, Nicole Atkinson's going bananas. And there's a couple theories going around that she could have been the one that triggered the alarm. I don't think she was, because she did know the code. But the door had like a hotel style, that thing that goes like that. That was on the front door. You don't put that on there unless you can walk back through something. He never used the garage because the girl's room is right above the garage. So he would never, ever, ever fucking back his truck up behind there and all that shit. So it was already done. Now, if you look at the video of the garage, when he goes in, first of all, he goes in and gets something out of Shannan's car. He's either putting something there or getting something. I think it was the wedding ring, because he acts all surprised he found the wedding ring when really he knew where it was. He knew that. By the way, NK told him he should pawn it. Yeah. You fucking asshole. I think the engagement ring to Shannan was like $25,000. It was like $5,000 more than he had saved his entire life. So that made his mom not like him also. Plus, I think Shannan had like photographers and all this shit ready at the beach, and everybody's like, what the fuck? He didn't even ask you yet. Why are you doing that? And she would always put everything on social media, and he's kind of like a laid back, don't look at me, type of person. So that was always fucking with his head. She just never respected the fact that he really didn't want to be on any of that shit. And if you see, she like does crazy fucking posts and lives and all this shit. I'm actually a part of her Facebook. I went on her Facebook and I follow. On her Facebook, if you look up Shannan Watts, it's kind of like a memoriam to her and the girls in Nico. And I really, 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 with all my heart and soul, really want this bitch to fucking go into a jail and get the shit kicked out of her every day. I know I would beat the fuck out of her if I saw her, just because. I mean, I don't like her. I don't like the way she lied. I don't like the way she got away with shit. I don't like the fact that she hunted that man and captured that man and made him, not really made him, but definitely possessed his ass to go kill everybody. What the fuck's that about? And I really think she did too. I think she did some of it, because he fucks up and says, it wasn't my hand, it wasn't my hand. Meaning like, he's trying to be like a Christian now. Come on. oh, he's reading the scripture and he's comparing NK to a Jezebel and he's reading scripture and he does all this scripture shit. Well, no fucking shit. You got nothing to do. There's like no books in there. The only book you get is the Bible. Motherfucker is in deep. He's like reading the Bible all the time. He did. Hey, I know Nicole Kessinger did this shit too. I hope and I pray that one day, soon, they put that bitch back in, because I'm telling you what, not only with her erasing all that shit, but the fact that she really did look them up the year before. She looked up Shannan in September. And if you look at one thing of Shannan's, anywhere, you will see Chris Watts. You will see the girls. You will see it all. Once he found out that he was having a baby again, I think it kind of like made him go a little crazy. I think he found that out like May. I think she was 3 months when she was killed. As they did say, the baby was expelled. He didn't even dig anything. He said we had a rake. Who's we? We had a rake. We had a shovel. We. I hope she's fat as fuck. I hope her hair falls out. I hope she gets the shit kicked out of her. Nicole Miller. Piece of shit, bitch. What a fucking asshole to do this. They had to take down all those oil batteries. They shut the whole site down. So that means that not only did he murder, and they murdered people together and fucking did that shit, not to mention all the police and all the EMS and all the people that were there, how they actually gave Nicole Kessinger trauma therapy. Trauma therapy. They gave the killer trauma therapy. And the state paid for it. So not only did everybody have to get therapy and the state paid for it, but they shut down the site. So that means people lost their jobs too. And that fucking Nicole Kessinger actually has the fucking balls to say she got fired because of this. Yeah, bitch, you did. But your dad got you that job, didn't he? And you were an oil tanker before that. And who were you fucking then? And now they're saying that she got pregnant and had a baby with another married man. That does not surprise me. She's a shitty human. She's the type of person that makes me not like anybody. Makes me not want to leave this house. Look up all the things on YouTube. Zawicki, Watch the Obsession. They'll show you all the things. There's one guy that actually does these things. I want to say EMT, but I don't think that's a word. It's a frequency for ghosts. And he actually will take an infrared of the house. And you can see the girls in the window. That's the only window that's cold. It shows the heat on the garage. You see the other windows are kind of black, and then you see the Bella and Cece in the window. So the house itself, afterward they couldn't get rid of it. I think Shannan and Chris bought it for $750,000, but they bought the lot and they made it, so I don't really know. So it was on, you know, they couldn't get rid of it. Couldn't sell it. Finally, a new family bought it, okay? They painted the outside white and brown. And the house inside is completely different. Shannan had a very specific taste. I like it. I like the way she did colors and stuff. And now it's all beige. Another family moved in. That man who moved in got arrested for trying to beat his wife. So the house is on the market again. The family might be getting a divorce. I guess the woman, they had company over. It was Super Bowl Sunday. The woman's upstairs with her girlfriend, a friend of hers, her husband's, that both of the husbands are downstairs, and her husband in particular, was looking at the camera, and the friend looked at the camera and then went and kissed his wife on the mouth. And I guess he came upstairs and threw a fit and grabbed the glass and threw it and all this shit, and the cops are called. But the cops have been called to that house many times, because a lot of people will go there and like leave bears or something like that. But then it also has like some spooky aspects where there is CCTV footage of a woman walking up to the house and going in. You know, all the doors were locked. When the cops got there, they go in there, they're scared of shit. You should see them. They never caught anybody walking out. Nobody ever walked out. So really that person never existed. The fact that nobody has any other cameras or anything else to find this fucking Nicole Kessinger is a real fucking problem in my eyes. I think pretty obviously she was up to a lot of it. And I'm really surprised it took him this long to rat her out. I think he could say a lot more. He's only been in there 6 years. And he was in like solitude for the first few years. I don't think they let him out because it was too dangerous for him at that Colorado prison. And they moved him to the Dodge one, which is where NK's family is and stuff. And I'm pretty sure her dad has some pull with the prison system, because that shit's gonna hit the fan now. Because now he's really actually saying something about Nicole. And he did say something about, like she said, it's either them or me. I can't wait till he says what she really did. I can't wait to hear what it really was, because I know she was in that house that night. I know she was. And I think they really didn't think Shannan would walk downstairs, because I think there was an exit out the back that she could have ran off to NK through the night like a big skank that she is. Her skanky empanada ass. And I'm pretty sure that Shannan walked in on that shit and it just went sideways. Make sure you look at all the footage of the trauma dog coming. They had 2 different kinds of dogs come for 2 different things. So there's footage of that. They do like to make a thing saying that you could hear a child laughing when they walked into the closet, and then some people are like, that's a dog toy, they stepped on a dog toy. But it does sound like a weird giggle. Now, if you hear the voicemails, because they got stuff off of Chris's phone, because he's dumb as rock. So they were like, oh, Nicole Kessinger sent him, or he gave her a card in like the first week or so they were hanging out, and he said that he loves her giggle. So if you hear her voicemail, she goes, I missed your face. We gotta get this lady. Keep your ear to the ground. Let's find out what happens, because I'm telling you what, man, that bitch, she's got it coming, and when she gets in the prison, she's gonna have the shit kicked out of her. I'm gonna throw a little party when that happens or something. Maybe I'll throw a party for this here tooth. We don't know. Oh, by the way, I'm pretty blessed actually to just have it be the tooth, because the infection went through my mouth to the roof of my mouth. So I actually almost lost my whole palate and more teeth. I just happened to find a dentist, and walk in there and show him, and they took me in. Thank God. And he saved my whole mouth. I almost lost it all. And I do have like a very serious problem on the roof of my mouth right now, but it will be okay. It will. God bless you guys, man. Let's look out for each other, because there's Nicole Kessingers and Chris Watts running around doing stupid shit. How he did that to those girls. How he could do that. So cruel. He'll say, I had no emotions. None. He doesn't know what love is. That's why he had to look it up. He had to Google how to say, I love you to somebody. He's a sociopath. It's a shame. He'll brag about a story when he told a teacher in middle school that he went to China, and how she just believed him. And then every time he talked to her, she'd say, how was China? And he'd go, oh, it's great. And he like thinks it's hilarious that he fooled her so easily. He already had in mind he was going to kill those kids. And Shannan and her baby. Yeah. So don't be surprised when you hear this stupid shit come out that he says Jezebel and all that crap. Well, she is, but I don't even know if that guy actually has permission to do that stuff, because supposedly they fell out, and then Chris Watts was like, please don't do that. And he did it anyway. And tonight he's like dropping the last part. It's a 3-part book, or 3-part series of books. They're like $19 a shit paperback. They're like 50 pages. They're not even real big. Yeah. Let's just send some. Oh, dear God, please help. Please help Shannon's family. Please help them get through this. It's just such a... It's not human. What they did wasn't human. It's not. I mean, how cruel do you have to be? Shove your daughter in a tank full of oil. I mean, there was oil in the kids' lungs. They were in their nightgowns. They made the babysitter point out what clothes they would have had on. Nicole Kessinger can't even remember what they talked about the day before on a 111-minute phone call. Oh, we just talk about stuff. Yeah. Butt sex? Is that what you talk about? Double penetration? Is that what you talk about? I bet you do know a thing or two. Who the hell else was there? What is going on? Let's keep our eye out, man. We gotta pray for these people, man. Pray for these families. And pray for the people who tried to help. And let's pray that we get this bitch put where she needs to go. Hell in a handbasket. Hell in a handbasket. I hope I don't ever meet her, because I'll be in prison too.